Take a look around. This is a typical scene on a college campus. Students glued to their phones, unaware of life around them, unaware of their environment, and unaware of the people in it. This is the digital generation. Students are immersed in social media every day, and they cannot get enough.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, VSCO, and Snapchat.
I don't know about obsessed. Well, it's pretty close to it.
Social media, I think my number one would be Instagram. I use Instagram a lot, and then Twitter, go on that a lot too.
I'm definitely addicted to Snapchat, but not literally. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. That's what I spend most of my day as on social media.
According to the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, the average social media user spent 1.7 hours per day on social media. That's about 12 hours a week.
I do check it without even hesitating. I'll go on, wake up in the morning, and say I'm walking to class, I'll go on Instagram, I'll go on Twitter, and then I could very easily not, but I am.
Probably at least 2-3 hours a day, maybe, a lot.
My favorite part about social media is seeing what my other friends are doing and what's going on in their lives, because a lot of them go to school all across the country now.
Social media has taken over the world. Whether it's in a cafe or anywhere in public, you'll see people on one of these. They're taking pictures, they're checking their likes, and they're constantly scrolling past endless feeds of information. We love social media, but is it good for us?
Psychology professor Melissa Brown says it isn't. Brown has spent her career researching meditation, mindfulness, and wellness. She says social media is affecting the way we socialize.
There's nothing like face-to-face interaction. You learn social skills when you're hanging out with people, and on social media there's a certain degree of anonymity that you don't see. You don't get to see how your words affect that person in real time, and so you don't necessarily learn to moderate your behavior, develop those sort of relationship maintenance skills.
Brown also says social media is changing the way we communicate.
And if you are always getting texts and answering texts, that you have no downtime. You're always on. So my thought was it was raising your anxiety level sort of subliminally, so you weren't noticing it, because it was kind of fun,
right.
But your overall ambient stress level was going up, so that when normal stressors like a test wigged people out more. They were just getting more wigged out about stuff that people used to take in their stride, and I thought it was because of their split attention between the phone and what they should be doing.
Social media is changing the way we communicate, but it can also lead to negative thinking patterns that can affect the way we view ourselves.
Of course, you got that FOMO. Yeah. You got that fear of missing out. Which I do think is toxic in certain times, when it could be the most simplest thing, but you don't see yourself in that picture. It starts to get you in your brain, and you start thinking worse thoughts.
FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is one of the most common side effects of social media usage, and research shows it can lead to a decreased self-esteem.
There's a lot of social comparison, so you see other people out doing stuff, people you thought were friends, and you should have been invited to this, and why weren't you invited to this? Right. And so people are losing socialization opportunities, so that even then when they get older, they go to college, they don't have the social relationship skills that generations who did not have smartphones had coming into college.
For that, I don't care about. But I definitely see people that definitely care about that, or tell their friends, oh, go like my picture. And if anyone tells me to do that, I'm probably not going to like their picture out of pure spite.
Worrying about social media can be mentally draining, and once you've become dependent, it's difficult to resist the urge to open those apps.
I feel a lot of times when I'm studying or doing writing papers and stuff, I'll find myself gravitating towards my phone and just looking at going through my feed just because it's there.
I think sometimes you'll be hanging out with friends and they're too busy checking Twitter or Instagram or how many likes they got on a picture or Snapchatting somebody, and it can just take away from conversation sometimes. But I'm guilty of it, so I guess I can't be a hypocrite.
People are looking for validation based upon their likes, and so healthy people are going to have real life things that they do that they get affirmation for. Right. So I guess my message is it can't substitute for real life. It just can't.
But for people like Andre Shaw, less is more when it comes to social media.
It was a decision. I think it happened either my junior year or my sophomore year that I realized that it was just taking up too much time in my life. So like I would have homework, or like even in my faith, like when I wanted to like read my Bible and stuff like that, Facebook was taking up most of my time. So it's like, all right, let me cut this out. You know, I don't really need it. You know, I'm tired of looking at other people's lives and seeing how their lives are and comparing it.
It was Shaw's faith that put things into perspective. He prioritized his spiritual life over his online life. But he didn't delete his accounts. Instead, he found a healthy balance that worked for him.
So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to delete it. So let me just get rid of the app and take it off my phone. That way, if I don't see it, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to bother it.
While cutting back wasn't easy, Shaw realized FOMO was controlling his life and decided to make a change.
Like, honestly, I used to think that. Like, I used to think that if I didn't check Facebook, I was missing something. Like, it makes no sense. Looking back on it, you're not missing anything. Like, you're just missing other people posting stuff about their life, which, like, in the pictures, they seem happy and stuff like that. You never know what they're actually going through.
Whether you love social media or hate it, it's a fact of the modern life that's here to stay. This is the digital age. There's a whole new world online, a world that has the power to affect our perspectives. As the national conversation on mental health continues, understanding the psychology of social media is more important than ever.